all of a sudden I'm backwards, upside down in the air.
In your bunk?
Dude, no, I flew out. I'm in the top bunk.
But you were in the bunks.
I was in the bunk. I'm backwards, upside down, heading head first towards the floor. Their front of house guy reached out of the middle bunk, caught me by my shoulder. The bus had hit something. I'm like, what? I hit the floor. Everybody's,
it's the greatest story ever.
Everybody's like, what happened? What happened?
Welcome back to another episode of the S&B podcast. I have got my co-partner, Trevor Swenson.
Hello.
And Matt Yonker. Currently and forever will be the drummer of Less Than Jake.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
How you doing?
I am wonderful. How are you guys doing?
We're good. Thanks for letting us use the studio, by the way. This is beautiful.
Oh, yeah, no problem, dude. Thanks for coming by. At first we were talking about, should I go to your hotel? Should you come here? I'm like, come here. I think this would be more fun.
It's nice. I mean, it's a studio, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to use any of it, but it looks cool, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Any notables that have been through here that we can talk about?
Just like a lot of smaller and mid-sized punk bands, the Dopamines, the Parasites, like stuff like that. Blacklist Royals that have done numerous things. The Bad Signs. There's lots of bands. You know what I mean? They're all on like that mid-level.
Yeah.
Still touring and all that. So it's good. And I've been able to do the studio now since probably, I think I started in 2008, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And it's whenever I wasn't on tour, I get bands in and.
And now nobody's on tour, so you're getting all kinds of time.
Well, actually, yes and no. Like, I didn't want to start taking on stuff because, nobody knows when we're actually going to start playing live again. But it's just been, I'm just starting to get into going, okay, I know I have at least a while, so I'm starting to get like mixed projects in and like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Full albums?
Some. The last record I just did was a new record for the band Raging Nathans, and that just came out. I've got a couple other bands, another band called Ball of Light that's like a heavier band from Cincy. They're coming in November. I think most of the stuff I'm going to do is I'm trying to focus on mixing just so I can not have people in here. You know, it's like, send me your stuff and I'll mix it, Because right now, And we've been doing... The cool thing is we've been doing like lots of Less Than Jake stuff. So like we record everything at our homes. So we've done 3 of those, and it's just been that kind of stuff keeps me busy and at least, makes me not go completely insane.
Crazy.
Yeah. Cause it's, as you know, I don't know how much time you ever spent on the road, but if you're used to it and it's part of your life, and it just stops.
It's a weird feeling.
It's almost like taking away your home. Is from a lot of the bands we've been talking to. That it's like their home is the road. So when they're not out there, this is unnormal to everybody, and they almost get that feeling of homesickness where they're not at home.
Right. Exactly. I'm used to living on a tube with 8 other dudes smelling their feet every night, and it's and it's not there. I'm like, why am I not giving myself a baby wipe bath right now? Well, I guess I could still do that.
Just bring back some good memories.
Yeah, good stuff. Just normal stuff.
Yeah. Well, no, it's cool to see you, man. Like, honestly, we were saying when the last time I actually saw you was
2018, and that was it was it in London or just in England?
It was in London.
It was in London.
I was doing this on the way over here. I was like, what the fuck was the last time I saw him? I was like, it was at the Forum.
Yep, we did 2 nights
at the Forum.
Yep, 2 nights at the Forum, and
Halloween.
And that was my first tour with Less Than Jake.
Yeah,
first full tour. I'd only done, let's see, 2 shows before that tour, and then just jumped right into that. So it was.
So for people that don't know, you've been with Less Than Jake
since 2001.
So almost 20 years.
Yeah. Next year will be 20 years of being with the band. I started off doing stage and selling merch and basically doing every, they would say, do you know how to do this? And I would say, yeah. And I had no idea how to do this. I mean, when
Adam does that now.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
hey, man, I think we all do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you have that, go-getter attitude and you're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's been good to me anyway.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and then it just kind of, oh, how about this job? Sure. And then it got to a point where I had started mixing the first bands on their tours, just like to get practice, because I had never done live sound. I had recorded for years, but I had never done live sound. And their front of house engineer at the time was like, oh, just come out and do the opening band every night, and, I'll kind of show you the ropes. And that went on for like a year. And then there was one show where the tour manager and front of house guy both couldn't make the show. And the front of house guy, Andy, was like, well, Matt can do it. So they called me and they were like, you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, I can do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Then they called back a couple days later. So can you TM this show too? And I'm like,
Does my paycheck get bigger? What is going on here?
So I'm like, with Less Than Jake, no. But it turned into that, and then it went, tour manager, front of house, and then tour manager, front of house, and then day-to-day manager on top of that. Shit. And then when Vinny left in September of 2018, it was, I'm done. And then the guys called me and were like, okay, so you want to do these shows? We had 2 shows.
Shit.
They were those, I don't remember if you heard them, the Scallywag festivals that were going on. Like, it was mainly West Coast stuff. Nice. But it was Bad Religion and Real Big Fish and Less Than Jake.
John Reese ones, or I think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those were my first 2 shows. Were those festivals. And when the guys had called me, they were like, do you want to do it? And I immediately said yes, because that's what I do. That's just where my brain goes. And then I got off the phone with them and had the oh shit moment of,
fuck.
Mainly, can I do it? Because I hadn't played drums in like 8 or 9 years.
What?
I had stopped.
So you weren't teching for them. You were just running the numbers.
Dude, I was doing
Front of
all
house.
the front of house, tour manager, and day-to-day manager, but I had stopped playing drums. I hadn't been playing for 8 or 9 years, and then they were like, Vinny left, you're in. And I was like, yeah, I can do it. And then I got off the phone, and I immediately came out here and got behind the drum kit going,
shit, gotta
can
practice.
I even play still? It had been, because leading up to Less Than Jake, this is, I played in tons of bands playing drums.
Yeah.
So that's how I met Less Than Jake, was they had taken my old band Teen Idols out. And when they asked me to do it, I called them back a couple days later or whatever, and we were talking, and I was like, are you sure you guys don't want to get like some ringer of a drummer? You can get anybody you want. And Roger was like, screw that, man. I know how you play. Like, you'll be fine. And it was just,
my hands hurt.
It was just, dude. Okay, I don't get super nervous for some reason. Like, I don't love being around crowds, but you put me on stage and I'm fine. Like, I love it. Like, I just really love it. That first show, and Chris said this when he was just here, he was like, I didn't realize that first show you were just pacing and pacing and pacing, and I was backstage because I was shitting myself. I was so nervous. Not that,
but you know the songs.
Well,
I'm like, you've been with them for
yes, and I heard the songs and I mixed the songs every night, but I never played them. You know what I mean? Other than, like, Chris came over for one day and we ran through the set 2 times.
That was it?
That was it. And then it was just.
So how many fills did you miss, and how much did you miss?
I didn't miss anything.
Well, then you're golden.
Well,
so
exactly, but I don't know.
It's a punk show. Just do it.
And I'm such a team player. I wasn't even worried about me. I was worried about letting the rest of the band down. Like, oh my god, I freaking blew it.
You're only the drummer. You only keep the tempo.
Well, I know. I was so nervous, man. I was freaking out, but it's all been good.
So the second show, though, were you like just in the groove?
Second show was like fine.
So when I saw you, you were like, that was brand new.
Oh,
that
brand
was like
new.
That next month.
Oh yeah, that was only four, probably 5 more shows in.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
you killed it.
Thanks.
Oh,
It was one of those things where as soon as I sat down and we just started playing the songs, everything just was like
whoosh.
Oh,
okay.
I know these songs so well that you don't, and that's been honestly a great thing for me is the whole catalog I've known for so long, and even if they haven't played it, I know it.
Yeah.
You know, so it just is a natural thing. So, and I think that's why it's worked. So
That's awesome. Congrats on everything going on, then.
Thanks,
That's
man.
great.
It's been wild. It's what a roller coaster.
And now it's congrats. You're not touring anymore, so
right?
Yeah.
I know, man.
Is it congrats though? Really? Because
this is a question. Did I get promoted or demoted to drums?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, can you be a day-to-day manager or a tour manager or a front of house right now either? So you're kind of just you kind of every job is like you're
but
good.
when touring was happening, I'm like I didn't know.
But you were doing day to day. Were you TMing at the same time while doing the drums?
The first tour I was kind of teaching our merch guy
how to do it.
I mean, he had TM'd that band Pears, the punk band Pears.
Yeah.
He had tour managed them, but it's I mean that's a different thing than having to keep track of things and
accounting.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like me teaching him, and then I would go and this is just me. Is I would go and the crew would be packing shit up and I'd be packing shit up, and they're like, "Dude,
your job's done.
Dude,
you're good.
Stop." And
Go
I'm like,
settle the show,
dude. I want. This is weird. So it took me not too long, probably only like 2 weeks, and then I was like, oh, okay. I think I could just kind of step away from that. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Congrats.
Thanks, man.
Congrats.
Thanks, man.
It's a big life change, though.
It's just been, it's been wild. And the funny thing is when they asked me to do it, I don't even think I talked to my wife about it. It was just like, yep, I'm doing it. And I'm like, she's like,
I mean, what did it change though?
You're
still out with the band all the time.
Yeah, right. But I think she was just like, you're playing drums again? Like, okay. I just honestly, there was so much stuff, and I was just so burnt out from touring from basically 96 up until 2008, man. I was just touring in other bands too when I wasn't working for Less Than Jake. So it was just constant. I was on the road at least 6 months a year every year, and that's all we've ever known. But then I just stopped because it was just I was just burnt. And so I think she was just super surprised that I was like, yeah, I'm doing it again. just like that without thinking about it. Yeah.
Did she give you one of those looks like?
No, she's always been like super, super supportive of everything, which is lucky.
Yeah.
No,
that's awesome.
This episode of SNB Podcast brought to you by Veeps. For artists, by artists, always commission free. For a full list of upcoming shows, visit veeps.com.
Making good music is hard, but marketing your music shouldn't be. It's simple.
Simple was born out of the idea of wanting to help musicians and industry professionals better navigate the modern music industry.
Whether you're an artist, band, manager, or record owner, Simple has a solution for you.
They offer Facebook and Instagram ads management services, Spotify growth, content marketing consultations, and so much more.
Visit their website at oddlysimple.xyz. That's SIMPL, no E, .xyz.
No E. Go check it out.
Thanks.
Man. And you got 2 kids?
Yeah. Nora, she is 6, and Emmett is 2.
And you're doing the homeschool?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what my job is now. It's
like a teacher.
Yeah, dude. It's been cool. But it's a little stressful sometimes just because, like Nora will get upset on something just because something moves super quick.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, calm down. It's all right. We'll watch the video later or something like that. And it's kind of, learning as you go.
Yeah. No, my nephew's 5 and he's got a little bit of ADHD, kind of like me. And
you don't, not at all. No.
Yeah.
And trying to get him to focus. And I'm, my father-in-law is sitting there. He's become teacher.
Yep.
And it's kind of, he's been telling me, he's like, listen, I've got, it's hard for me to differentiate from grandpa to teacher. So it's like, and my nephew's all over the place, and he's such a great kid, but it's like trying to figure out and narrow down that kind of like, okay, 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're sitting here, and he gets dressed up.
Oh, that's
puts
pretty
his
awesome.
little bow tie on. He does like, he's loving it, and he's just retired, but he's also hating the fact that he's now seen from the 5-year his grandson is teacher.
Well,
but
the thing that's bumming me out is just like she's in first grade this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kindergarten was awesome. She had such a good year, and she had made friends and, and all this. And it's just like she was so excited about going to school.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, how long is this going to go on for? And she's, she really doesn't complain about it. But in my back of my head, I'm like, oh, man, how is this going to be when everything starts up again?
I mean, part of Tennessee, obviously we're here in Nashville, like, it just depends on where you're at. You're either full blown going or there's nothing happening. So
Absolutely.
They go? Can they go back here?
In certain counties, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like right now, Nora is supposed to go back right after her fall break, which is, I want to say it's the week of like the 15th of October or whatever. And we have to decide basically my Monday if she's going to be going back or if we're going to keep her virtual.
Here.
Because we have that option to do that until after the top of the year and then reevaluate.
Do you know? You're like,
no, and I've got 2 days to figure it out. I mean, we've been talking about it. It's just such a big question mark because you don't know exactly how it's going to be in the school. Even though, I mean, her teachers are amazing and their school is really great with keeping us informed. But
you never fucking know.
I mean, they're also she's 6.
Yep.
They're expecting 6-year-olds to wear masks all day. Is that going to work?
That ain't going to happen.
No.
How is that going to work?
It's not. And the teacher has to wear a mask too. And not to say that there has to be discipline, but if you're going to tell somebody what to do and you have a mask on and you can't express your emotion, that's going to be hard, especially for a little tiny kid.
Absolutely. So it's a little stressful, but just kind of take it as you go and figure it all out.
Yeah, I know. I've been asking everybody this because it's so important right now. We had somebody on the other day that was trying to explain to us about how education and everything, and when we were growing up, how it is now compared to when
when we were all kids.
I mean,
and our education system. Plus, again, I said the story on a previous episode. I took pictures of my fiance's son's books. And those were around when I was in school. I'm like, they're learning on the same thing. They haven't updated this, other than the fact that they put Barack Obama as a president. They kind of wrote it in there. He was president for a while.
It's like Sharpied in there.
I'm just like that's the notes I left in that book when I had that. Like, really? Yeah. So it was.
Yeah, it is a bit wild, for sure. I mean, and then, I guess there's going to be new, they're going to teach more patriotism in schools now. I saw that the other day.
What?
So that's
is that a Tennessee thing?
No,
that's not California.
It's a Trump thing that he's pushing.
That's new every day.
That's what it was like 2 days ago. I laughed at that. I was like, okay.
How could you teach patriotism?
I know. Well, maybe he's going to try and bring back the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know. Don't tell him that because he'll probably try and do that. Just. But
the whole fucking thing.
We try not to get too political.
Oh no.
So, yeah,
I'm not political either. It's like I just think there's a lot of hate being thrown around the country right now, and that sucks. Like I don't like that at all.
Yeah, everybody's just so divided.
Yeah, man.
And the division, which was more racial based, from what it was huge, and it is still huge.
Yep.
With Black Lives Matter and Antifa and all that stuff, and then now they've taken a virus. And they've created it into a political division to where you have people that
crazy.
Nobody knows what's right and what's real, and that's what's scary.
And people are fudging the numbers. Obviously, you guys are having that problem here, and then there's the issue of asymptomatic stuff. Well, strep throat. You don't always have strep throat, but you have it.
Yeah.
And then. I'll use the big one, which I've never used on the show, but the biggest argument I have is how many people a year die of AIDS? Do you know that number? 0. Yeah. 0 people die from AIDS. Everybody dies from AIDS complications.
Right.
Yeah.
So the report that came out on the CDC about, that only 10% of the people died from just COVID. Yeah. But you die from complications of this stuff. AIDS kills your immune system, so you die of a cold, just because you don't die directly from the virus doesn't mean it's terrible for you. Plus all the after effects and everything. Again,
oh, dude. Well, I know
we
you
can talk
can
about
get,
this
you can
for
get
hours
into it.
on this
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
There's the science isn't quite there yet, and the fact that they're
Well, I know, and that's the bad part. It's like, okay, you see this, and then it's like, no, you shouldn't listen to that.
Yeah.
You listen to this, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's wrong
You
too.
don't know who to believe anymore, and that's the fucking problem. It's just like all mainstream media has kind of gone to shit, and I'll watch CNN. I like watching NPR. I'm not gonna lie.
It's because NPR can't bullshit you. It's like this is the news.
But-
We're not picking a side.
But that's the whole point of this, is that they can, if they wanted to. They can bullshit. Anybody can bullshit you.
Oh yeah.
But then you have all these fucking whack jobs that are sitting there throwing these crazy conspiracy theories, and I'm like,
I made the mistake
like-
of watching that Social Dilemma. You watch that on
yeah,
Netflix?
Yeah.
that
like-
was crazy though.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a lot of truth in that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's why it was so crazy. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
freaked me
Facebook
out, man.
really does have a lot to do with all of this division. You haven't watched it yet, have you?
Yeah, I did. I watched it the other night.
Okay, yeah. So,
I know.
I mean, for the people that haven't watched it yet, I mean, it's
Watch
Yeah, watch it.
Watch it.
It's eye opening considering that they have the designers telling you this is screwing you,
Mm-hmm.
but the problem is they all. Even on the show, they still were, the beginning of the show, they're all looking at their phones.
Phones.
And
Oh, I know,
so
yeah. The whole time.
the addiction is real. Like, how do you get rid of this? And another key point on that show was the fact that this happens every 30, 40 years with technology. When they introduce something new, they think it's taking over your world or whatever. What was the example they gave in the 60s?
bike.
The bike. So basically, that was a big
that's
one. That was
right.
100 years
That's
ago.
right,
Yeah, that changed the world, which it did. But everybody didn't say, "Oh, my horses! I'm going to give up my horses."
It's a little bit of a different thing, though. I get it with technology, right, coming through, but the bike, and that analogy for me in that movie was kind of like, come on.
But it's true. The bike changed the world.
Of course it did, but it didn't detract you from going out and doing things. Like, honestly, there are people that...
It didn't put an ad in front of your face.
Yeah, the bike was not selling
But
you.
I know what you mean. It was a huge, it was a huge change.
Yeah, but it's like the show Mad Men. Like, not to segue into a show, but Mad Men is a show where we need to tell you what you like.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook just does it way better.
Yep.
They have algorithms that know this is what their DNA is
I
going
know.
to do right
There
now.
were parts of that that were just cracking me up when they had the one dude that was three different
The guy
guys.
from Mad Men. He was the guy from Mad Men.
That's right, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, do you have any tours that you had? I'm
well-
going to jump into this kind of a little bit because I'm...
Well, I mean, I guess I could just talk about this, but...
Yeah. When did you cancel? Like, that's
well,
kinda...
okay. It was... The last show we played was Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut, which was awesome because we had like photo shoot set up for the new record and all this stuff while we were there. So we did all that, and then right after that we had a show in Alaska. So all this stuff is happening, and we're supposed to play this show in Alaska, and Alaska's not getting shut down.
Yeah.
That was like because Seattle was shut down. They were starting to shut down places, and we're going. Well, I mean, Alaska's still open, so we're going to go because this isn't that bad. Like, we're, whatever. So right up until, I think it was a day and a half before, maybe 2 days, and Chris was actually online, and we're talking about the show, and he just, like, texts everybody, goes, "This isn't good," and it was just a picture, and it was like, Less Than Jake canceled, and we hadn't even heard from our agent yet.
Shit.
So it was like, I guess that's not happening. So, sure enough, they canceled that, and then it was like we had May, us and Lagwagon were going out for a U.S. run. We had a lot of stuff lined up because the record was supposed to come out in this summer, and then we just kind of held everything because this is going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we had that lined up, which then we pushed back from May to July, thinking, give it a month.
Everybody thought that.
Well, exactly.
I mean,
so everything was rerouting, and so we're thinking, it'll get figured out. And then everything's like, okay, this is not, there's nothing happening. So we pushed everything from this year. And then...
Yeah, but where did you push it to?
Well, our fall Euro tour is now 1 year later. So it's next fall, like next November or whatever.
I'm not knocking wood that it does happen because they just shut down the UK
Well,
again.
see, and that's where I'm going with this. Our next tour that isn't even announced yet because it was supposed to be announced soon is the UK, and that was in May. they're just shutting everything down.
Yeah, everybody's trying to do everybody's trying to do Europe like Q1, and I go, you people are nuts. Plus, the ban's not even going to get lifted. They are waiting until the election happens.
Well, they were originally wanting to do it even before that. You know what I mean? Because everybody thought top of the year everything will be open, so it was going to be whatever March or April or whatever. And then we're like, well, let's push it to May to be safe. And now that's like, okay, UK is going to be locked down again. That's looking like anyway. Who knows? So right now I'm holding out hope for the fall Euro run, but realistically, we've already gone, dudes, let's plan for nothing in 2021.
Yeah.
Let's just plan for that. If something changes, awesome. But so we have a lot that we'll be doing.
Sorry to depress all you Les and Jake fans.
Yeah. I mean, that's not, it's depressing.
Everybody.
It's depressing in a way. It's depressing that you may not see us live, but the stuff that they're going to get instead of that will be worth it.
I like it.
Like, for real.
That's cool.
I like it. Yeah. Such a good teaser. Such a good teaser.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I've seen stuff, just been pushed back and pushed back. My next run isn't until, quote unquote, July 2021. And that's a stadium tour.
Oh.
And I'm like, no chance.
Well, because what tour was that?
Roger War. I don't know.
Okay. I know what you're going. Well, I didn't know, I didn't know what it was going to be because, I know the Green Day tour that was supposed to go out this summer got moved to next summer, right?
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah. What about the last holdout tour and the Motley Crue tour? They held out until like a week before they were supposed to start the tour. Oh, we're canceling. Duh.
Yeah. Well, true.
Yeah.
But then I'm watching people that are now, I think this was in May, going, no, we're booking for 2022.
Oh yeah, they announced the Rod Stewart tour for Australia in 2022.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he going to be alive in 2022?
There was somebody.
I hope so.
I'd go see Rod. Rod's awesome.
Well, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
There was somebody from a big agency. I don't remember which one, but like,
they're no longer big agencies.
Well,
They're
that's
small
true.
agencies now,
getting smaller. For 3 or 4 months ago, that said that
Yeah.
it was like it's going to be 2022, and everybody was kind of just pissed about it. That's what dude said, but now it's like
it's real.
That's really starting to look like
there's so many variables in it. Obviously, with our company, we're having the same problems too. You have to have buyer confidence as one of them. That's a big one. The first priority is safety. Everybody has to be safe. It's the other thing is the insurance factor, because there's going to be lawsuits up the wazoo for this.
That
thing.
is exactly what I told the rest of the guys. I was like, what is going to happen with the insurance? That's what I just want to know, because how are venues going to protect themselves about somebody coming to a show?
So I'll explain it to you if you really want to hear about it. So you can get sued for somebody getting the virus at your venue. They can't win though. But they can sue you into bankruptcy and just say they can drag you through court and hopefully you settle, and that's fine, because you can't prove that a person went to a restaurant and ate dinner and then they took a bus or whatever. You can't prove they got that standing in your room.
Right. Contract tracing.
Yeah, but they can sue the hell out of you and you can go bankrupt from it. So just dialed up in court. And there's no insurance that they'll give you for that, and just to say I'm protecting you from being sued, because how do you protect against that?
You can't.
Well, and who knows what venues are even going to be around. And that's what's scary too. It's like, man, so many of the venues that we normally play, it's like, how are they going to?
Honestly, I think we're up to 7% of the majors, like not major Live Nation AG stuff, but like of the major touring rooms are closing, so permanently.
Wow,
which is sad. Like,
it's so sad, and it's just going to be when things do actually start. Oh my God, it is going to be the biggest mess ever, because everybody's going to be trying to get into the same spot.
I was talking to a friend of mine about this yesterday, and what people don't really realize is when you're building a tour up and we're building a budget and when you're sitting down and going like, okay, we're getting paid X, Y, and Z. Now, how do we get there? We get a bus, right?
Yep.
No one is really thinking these bus companies. A bus isn't outrightly owned by these companies. They are all leased. Well, not all. Some have them, but
most.
But most leased and have huge monthly payments. And a lot of these bigger companies I mean, you're talking $100,000 a month, and
Yep.
they're just like
I know.
they're hurting more than anybody, I think, because the bus companies, they're going to be the last ones to get paid.
Yeah.
Because you don't pay your bus, and a lot of people, you
Well,
don't pay your bus up front. You know, like
Yeah,
you pay.
I don't know if you can roll on a tour these days without paying. I think it's 80% of the tour up front.
Well, how are you going to do that when the artist isn't getting paid 80% up front?
That's the problem that everybody's having, especially bus tours. Because if you're going out on, let's say, 25% cut rooms, and
Yeah.
you're going to have to pay for a door deal on a 25% cut room, but the ticket price somehow has to be the same. So
Doesn't
Or
add up.
more.
Even your
Yeah.
Well, you can't go more because then the fan doesn't buy the ticket. So say if, XYZ band doesn't, we don't want to name a band, but say if a band can sell 500 tickets in a normal room. So you got 25% cut of that. So you got 150 tickets roughly of that room, and you're normally going out for $20 a night. The max that room can bank off of a sold out show is $3,000. So it's like,
Yep.
Doesn't work.
No.
and then you're only taking, let's say, 70% of that, which
Exactly.
doesn't pay for your bus for the day.
Well, and that's what's, sad.
That's
but
the problem.
we were talking about that. I think it was, again, me and Chris. I was like, he said something about getting, buses. Oh, we got to make sure whatever. And I go, dude, who knows if we're even going to be able to tour in a bus
Yeah.
when we go back out, and obviously we would just not tour for a while because, so,
Yeah.
You wouldn't go back down to the Sprinter or the bandwagon?
yeah, we'll figure it out, but hopefully not have to, but,
Well,
it's
that's
just,
the thing.
yeah, but who knows? Who
Well,
knows?
The costs of the bus are going to
Yeah.
have to go up.
Oh, yeah.
And I was quoting out a whole bunch of things, and I was looking at these budgets, and some of the bus companies are throwing things up like 30%. And when you think about that over the whole gross of the tour, I was like, this is impossible.
Yeah.
For when
If
your
you're making less
margin-
money and
Yeah.
they're wanting 30% more.
it's like
It's going to be a bitch.
Mhm.
Like, it's going to be rough. Agent Live 360, the world's first and only publicly offered CRM software designed specifically for sports agents.
AL360 is an incredible state-of-the-art software that does everything from keeping track of clients, professional, and college teams, to even company finances and client return on investment.
This system does it all. Visit agentlive360.com for full details.
Go check it out. Cat clothing for all the cat lovers in us.
Visit catclothing.net for their full line of cat-inspired clothes.
Hoodies, shirts, tanks, shorts, and even fitness gear are now fully in stock for the fall and winter season.
Again, visit catclothing.net today. Check it out. Thanks, everybody.
Meow, meow.
A lot of bands are going to take some huge hits, and the ones that are going to come out ahead are the van bands.
But think about it, right? If then the bands won't be touring in buses, then the buses won't be
Right.
going out.
Well,
So you're kind of
Well, the bus companies, I know you've heard about this. They're renting to families.
Yeah.
They're going on vacation in a bus. I'm like, and I keep saying, how many people have this much money to go out on a bus
I
for
guess-
$2,000 a day? Just say, I'm going to go on vacation. What? Okay, cool. $60,000 for a month's worth of
dude,
vacation.
Do
Let's
we pay
go.
for an RV or a bus? Let's just go for a bus.
Well, you're not much different. Like
Yeah.
the RV itself is decent, but the gas overdrives are crazy.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, God. That just reminds me. I got to... They'll probably hate me for saying this, but we were out. It was Bad Religion, Less Than Jake, and Hot Water Music. And it was... I'm getting to the RV thing real quick. We're on buses, and
hot water music was in an RV.
Was in an RV. Well, I mean, whatever. That is what it is. At least they were able to get an RV at that point. That's rad. But we were coming through the desert to play Arizona, and us and Bay Religion were there. Our sound checks were done. And everything. And Hot Water Music comes rolling in. Well, the whole sewage of the RV had backed up through the shower.
Wow.
And it just flooded.
What year was this?
This is 2002, so this is a long time ago.
Wow.
But yeah, I just remember them pulling up, and it was just doors fly open. It's just the worst.
Actually,
You weren't
we
tour managing
have
that tour?
been no,
because
I
you're
wasn't.
always out with Hot Water Music. It seems like.
No, we have been on Warped Tour together.
When?
Brian, no, that was Newfound Glory.
Yeah, Brian was with Newfound. Yeah. Yep.
I was like, wait, hold on. Warped 2011? We were trying to figure this
wait.
out.
I think did we do 2011? I don't. No, I think we did 2012. I don't remember. There were so many years, and it was always us and Newfound were missing each other.
Okay.
It was like we were always on the opposite
Because
because we've just been friends with them for so long. It's like,
so Brian.
yep.
For you that don't know, Brian was the
Brian Forrest. Brian Maiden,
Yeah.
Brian whatever,
Brian Maiden.
Brian from Protagonist. Give everybody
How many?
plugs. I'm giving plugs.
I was driving and tour managing a band called Sharks,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, that's right. I remember you guys being out together on that too.
and Brian and I were hanging out all the time, and it was my turn to drive, and I was half asleep. It was in the middle of the night. They woke me up. They're like, "Your turn," smacked me, and I was like, "Oh, you know when you wake up, you're like, where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, look at at that time was the Garmin, on the dashboard.
Yep.
GPS. I was like, all right, 6 hours. All right, let's do this. And I get in behind the wheel, and because I'm living in the UK, I'm, having to adjust driving on the right side of the road, not on the left-hand side. But I didn't realize where the fuck we were. And I'm like, oh, shit. I've turned down the highway in the wrong fucking...
Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
How do you even do that?
Shit. Right. I was like, ah. And this story gets really
With
good.
every story this guy tells, I always wonder, how did he get more jobs with these bands?
Because I was the only one crazy enough to fucking tour manage, drive a bandwagon. And
you have to do 10 jobs. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And at that time, the bandwagon had this little separation window. But you had to, you had to have the one side had to be unlocked as well.
So you can open them both.
I pulled one, and I'm like, shit. Seeing shit, I'm like, okay, so I pulled on the hard shoulder, jumped down, and like, fucking Curtis, help me. And I had this one guy from New Mexico that I used to take around with me everywhere. The guy was a trooper. He's like, how'd you get in this position? I was like, you guys walk me. I don't know, but we have to get out of this. And I'm reversing back and I'm trying to go quick.
Do you have a trailer on?
We have a trailer.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm reversing back quick, and I fucking clip the corner of the...
You jackknife?
No. With the way the band... Well, not jackknife the trailer, but where the sewage...
Oh, no.
In the band... Where the sewage tank was in the back right-hand corner of the bandwagon, and cracked a fucking giant hole in it. I didn't know this at the time, right? So we get to Denver... And we pull up, and all the guys are just jumping out, pissing in the toilet, and we're at the Denver Warped Tour at Mile High.
Oh, yeah.
And all the piss and shit. There's no shitting.
You Dave Matthews them?
But it's rolling directly down to Brian Forrest's fucking, like guitar boat. And he's like, bro! And I'm like, oh, shit.
And then you probably had Lyman pissed at you, too.
Oh,
because
yeah, Kevin was like, come on, dude.
That was always the thing on Warped Tour. Don't dump it. Yep.
Yeah.
Don't dump in the car park.
Yep.
Did you knew that story about the the Dave Matthews Band thing, right?
Oh, what was that, Chicago?
It was in Chicago where he just dumped in the river.
Oh, yeah, it was over the bridge. Oh,
What?
You didn't hear that story? No. Oh, this is years ago. So Dave Matthews Band got caught in Chicago. It had to be the bus driver. It wasn't the band.
Well, right. It wasn't
the
like
bus
Dave
driver,
Matthews pushing the button.
But anyway.
Or was it?
So they're in downtown Chicago, and the shitter was full. So, they eddied it, from Christmas Vacation. Yeah. And they literally just pulled up onto a bridge over the river, opened it, and dumped all the sewage into the river, and people are videotaping us. And it goes crazy online, and it's Dave Matthews tour bus just dumping sewage into the river.
It was everywhere.
Yeah.
That really was everywhere, man. That story.
So if you had to have one moment on tour where you thought you probably could have died.
Oh, easy. I know this one real quick. And funny thing is, this just kind of came up not on Instagram, but something related to it today, and it was with Bowling for Soup, and oddly enough, with Brian Forrest. You're gonna be like, who is this Brian Forrest? So, all right, I'll try to wrap this up pretty quick. But me and
all
Brian,
the time in the world.
Okay, me and Brian were on tour with Les and Jake in Japan, and Bowling for Soup hit us up, and I was gonna go out and TM, and Brian was gonna do guitars, right? Well, we were flying from Japan to Dallas and then meeting up with them that day that we got there from Japan. So we land in Dallas at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, It's an hour drive out to their practice space, and we're going out there. I have the bus meeting us there at 10 o'clock to pick up everything. Everything's supposed to be smooth. Well, we get out to the warehouse on time. Everything's good. Me and Brian are just dragging ass, you know what I mean? Because we just flew from Tokyo, so we're just, jet lagged. So we get there, we get all the shit together. The guys show up at, 9 or whatever, and I had only done one show really with Bowling for Soup and a couple things on Warped Tour, but other than saying, hey guys, what's up? Didn't really know them super well. Well, the bus is supposed to be there. I'm hanging out. Everybody's cool. Like, everybody's cracking beers. I'm like, okay, this is cool. These dudes are cool. 10 o'clock comes. No bus. 10:30. No bus. I'm getting no response from the driver. Nothing. 11 o'clock. Nothing. 11:30. Nothing. I'm blowing dude up. Finally, he hits me up. It's like probably close to midnight. Everybody's been there for 2.5, 3 hours. Those dudes are just getting wasted. They've been fucking just pounding beers, right? So the bus guy's like, oh, I'm almost there. There was an issue with the trailer. I'm almost there. I had never used this bus company before, and it was something they even found, I think, last minute. It was through their manager. It set the whole thing up, right? So I go out to meet the bus. I can hear it coming around the corner. The bus pulls around, and as it's pulling up, I see the trailer. It's a painter's trailer, dude. There's a window that opens on the side of the side of the trailer like a hot dog cart, and there's ladders all over it. We're like, what the fuck?
We're going on the painter's tour?
Like, what the fuck is going on? So, oh man. So the guy gets in, and I'm already losing my shit because I meet the driver. He's coming out of the bus, and nobody knows the driver. And I'm like, dude,
what happened?
We can't tour in that. Like, there's no lock on this huge side window that you could just open and take stuff out of. Then we open the back. I'm not kidding.
Is it full?
Dude, not full, but at least a foot of plywood, like boards. So just being a TM, as you know, in this situation, you just go, just get it done.
Do it.
So me and Brian, everybody were getting all the wood out, and we're just throwing it in their practice space. Then we realize there's no ramp.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what the plywood was for.
What was the floor level of it though?
Oh, it was.
Was it 2-footer probably?
2 foot. Yeah.
Oh, so you're picking amps up everywhere.
And Bowling for Soup have some really big guitar vaults and stuff, so like super heavy stuff. And I'm just like, dude. So we load it in there, and the guy's like, well, I just called my boss, and he said that there's a ramp back at the warehouse. And I go, well, where's the warehouse? And he's like, an hour the opposite direction that we're supposed to go. And I go, you got to go. We got to go back and get the fucking ramp. We're just starting a tour.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. There's no way at this
and
point.
The other trailer.
Right. There's no way to get another trailer. There's no trailers, right? This is going to be our trailer, but we have to find a fucking ramp. So
I almost just went to U-Haul and just
but
dropped
dude,
trailer and got a bigger one.
This is, by this point, 1 o'clock in the morning, right? We are supposed to be in like Springfield, Missouri or something like.
From Dallas?
Oh, dude, it's a ridiculous, fairly far drive or whatever. So, but doable in a normal circumstance. But now we have to go an hour back. So we get there. Reminder that I am out of my mind, jet lagged right now. Everybody goes to bed when the bus leaves. I stay up with the driver and Jarrett from Bowling for Soup. Me and Jared are just drinking in the front, like, well, I mean, waste some time. We finally get back to the warehouse. I'm walking all over outside. I don't see a ramp. The dude like breaks into the warehouse, goes inside, finds this ramp, right? So we put it in there.
Was it a real ramp or was it like a mini ramp?
It was a ramp, but it was pretty shitty, but it would work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At this point, I'm just like, how are we going to make it to the show? Or by sound check, or load in. So then we start going. Jarrett's still up front drinking. I go back to sleep. Or sorry, he was asleep up front. He passed out up front, and I go to bed. I'm completely out. Let's like about an hour later, hour and a half later, all of a sudden I'm backwards, upside down in the air.
In your bunk?
Dude, no, I flew out. I'm in the top bunk.
But you were in the bunks.
I was in the bunk. I'm backwards, upside down, heading head first towards the floor. Their front of house guy reached out of the middle bunk, caught me by my shoulder. The bus had hit something. I'm like, what? I hit the floor. Everybody's,
it's the greatest story ever.
Everybody's like, what happened? What happened? And I'm like, I don't know. So I opened the door. It's funny, but it wasn't at the time. I opened the door. There's, glass everywhere. Everything is broken. Jarrett standing in the middle of the front lounge, just looking at me. He goes, I didn't do it. And I go, I know, man. I know. I'm trying to figure out what happened. At that time, there was a door that went to the drivers. Opened it, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Dude, he goes, I think I fell asleep.
Shut the hell up.
Dude, driver.
Please tell me you fired him that minute.
Oh, dude.
Oh, no, that's illegal.
He fell asleep. We had gotten off the interstate, right, to get gas or whatever, and we were heading on the access road to go back. Dude falls asleep, runs through a red light, T-bones a truck. Oh. The people are have serious injuries off to the side. Everything's just busted. We couldn't get out of the door. They had to jaws of life us out of the bus because we couldn't get the bus door open.
That is the craziest fucking story.
This was my first time, my first real tour with Bowling for Soup. And yeah, all this.
What year was this?
This was, probably this wasn't that long ago. So probably 2016.
Was this Warp Tour?
No, this was just a Bowling for Soup tour. Yeah. The start of a Bowling for Soup tour. And yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
Somehow we found a U-Haul.
Yeah.
And
you make that show?
We made that show.
The show. Oh my God. That's incredible. Wow.
Yep. And that's when Jared had said it, I think it was on stage. He was like, I don't know how we're here or whatever, but we're here. And it was wild. And here's the best part, had a new bus and trailer waiting outside the venue that night for the rest of the tour.
Wow. Man.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Man, you just make it happen.
I know.
It just, the show has to happen.
That happened to me in Cologne, Germany once.
It's an incredible story.
I had it. Yeah.
Incredible story.
Scared the shit out of me,
I'm
man.
scared thinking about it because I'm thinking, I'm sorry to interrupt your story, but
no.
I'm thinking every time, I go on bus, I can't sleep on a tour bus. You guys have toured your whole lives doing that. I get
that's
out
normal
there,
for me. Yeah.
And to me, I can't. We start moving on that bus, I'm wide awake. I'm like, there is another person in charge of my life right now. No fucking way. I can't do it. And with you guys, like you say, you're out. And that is the worst fear I have right there, is that person is going to fall asleep. And and then, Metallica obviously is one of the biggest ones that everybody remembers. Then obviously Ghost Inside, those guys. Oh,
yeah, dude. It is scary, but that is, from a band standpoint, that when you find that driver that really understands everything, you really try to hold on to that person because you do trust them. You get to a point where it's like, they know you know them. You're all in it together. This dude, even Jarrett, when the dude got there, was like, is this dude on something?
Well,
and I go, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well,
and
that's the story, though.
Well, he wasn't because he fell asleep.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, it's Trevor and Adam.
We want you to check out Dynamic Talent International, the boutique booking agency with a personal attention to their clients' needs.
From music talent, seminars, podcasts, and YouTube, DTI represents a wide range of incredible clients.
Visit dynamictalentint.com for a full roster list and contact information. Go check it out.
You were on the 2018 Warped Tour, right?
Yeah.
So there was a band on that tour that I had on that tour as well. And their bus driver, which I told the story, I think, a couple episodes ago. And I don't want to mention the band, but you'll know, very crazy band from your era. Their bus driver wanted to be a part of the party, as always. And
we've had those too.
Well, this one, they're like, hey, dude, it's 2:00 in the afternoon. You should be sleeping right now.
I kind of remember this.
Yeah. And the band, because this other band wasn't involved, but we were sitting out back with Guar, and we're like, dude, you need to go to sleep, because he's sitting there holding a beer, and he's been up. He hasn't gone to sleep yet, and they came in on early bus call for the morning for Warp, because you have to be there by noon, or or what is it? No, what's check-in, 10 or something like that?
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
8:30.
So they go in on the bus and like, you need to follow us and watch this. And then we walk into the bus and they're like, listen. And you go next to his bunk and he's on the phone and all of a sudden you hear, and it's like, oh. And then 25 minutes later he walks out and goes, let's go, fellas. I'm just like, no. I told him, I said, you're done. Goodbye.
Oh, dude, I know, and that's scary. We've had the drivers that do the Red Bull. It's just cigarettes and Red Bull the whole time. You're like, dude, I think you better cut back on that
they
Red
crash
Bull.
and it's bad.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
Oh,
So what happened in Cologne?
I was in a bus accident.
Oh, really?
Same thing, but not like I didn't get T-boned. The guy just fell asleep. And then
It's just scary. It is scary, like you were saying.
Yeah.
My wife's gonna listen to this and be like, "Yeah, I don't think I want you going."
I'm more excited about his chick listening to this because
I survived it all.
This morning, it was last
tons of
night.
damn
No,
stories.
last night she was preaching how horrible a driver he is, and that was probably the worst driving story ever. Driving on the wrong side of the highway.
Yeah, there's definitely proof now. Like, oh,
Yeah,
you're like, shit. I gotta edit that out.
No,
she
that's
doesn't
so
like my
staying
driving
right in there
at all.
Yeah.
But no, we were in Cologne, and the guy, he was just like, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Was it a German bus driver?
UK.
Okay.
And the UK drivers are touch and go at
Mhm.
best.
No, absolutely. That's
I
why
like
I
the
asked,
German
yeah.
ones. I'm not going to lie. The German guys are just like, no, I go to sleep. Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. And the German guys are usually not part of the party.
No,
It's the UK guys.
but they do show up in a banana hammock at some point. You know what I mean?
I go to shower.
Yeah.
Oh, man, no. The UK bus drivers, there were, I'll never forget it. It was Warped UK.
Oh yeah.
And I had this one guy that I was just like, this guy's just shit. I was like, I can't even talk to him anymore. And he was driving for another company that I just swore I would never use. And I was like, and then because they all talk, the bus drivers have this like,
Absolutely.
it's like little kids. They're just high school.
It's gossip. Yeah.
And I found out that this one guy blew up the engine on another bus the night before I saw him in. And me and him already didn't like each other. I fired him twice on 2 separate tours from 2 separate companies that he worked for beforehand. And we're in the Alley Pally parking lot of Warped Tour, UK. And I get out of the bus and I hear all this. I was like, John, oh. So I nicknamed him the Bus Terminator. and I was like, oh, it's the Terminator. And he just lost his shit.
Oh, really?
Like full on charged at me in the bus park in Alley. You know, Alley Pally is like right out the back.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you have to walk fucking ages to get out
Oh,
there.
yeah. I totally remember that spot.
And watched, and I was like, yo, this guy's going to fucking, like, I don't want to fight anybody. I'm not a fighter. And I was just like, dude, you're an asshole. But he's chasing me around in the car park. And it's like, you know, one of those, because he's like nearly dead.
You
And
did
I'm
a
like,
front-
bro,
You're just
chill the fuck
screwing
out.
up, man.
Watching the security guy just like standing there. I'm like, dude.
Like, do something.
Yeah,
This guy's actually trying to hit me.
Yeah, but that guy was fucking nuts. Honestly, like bus drivers over there in the UK are just
Yeah, that's why, dude, we've had the same one since
Tim,
2000.
right?
Yeah,
Is he Tim?
we've had him since 2008. And he's that guy. It's like,
yeah.
we know that he takes care of us, and you know, and you kind of need that, you know.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it doesn't happen all the time just because schedules and
Yeah.
whatever. But man, after that Bowling for Soup thing for me, that freaked me out. And it's like I will pretty much do anything to try to have a driver that we've at least had before.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I never heard. Funny enough, I never heard of that bus company ever again after Bowling for Soup. Tour, so they probably just changed their name to something else.
We're not plugging you guys.
Yep.
Not happening.
You screwed up.
Yep. That's crazy. You guys have obviously known each other for quite a long time, since you guys have quite the stories going back.
Yeah,
back
but
and
I
forth.
don't remember the first time that, like,
I know. I've known Chris for 21 fucking
yeah,
years.
that was the thing, is I remember, you know, Chris and Raj saying Adam from Fandangle, and that's why I just was like, okay, and that's
Fandangle.
and that's why I always knew him as. But then I think the first time you were probably just hanging out, and then I think that the second time you were working for someone, but I don't remember.
So this is kind of the thing, is that I had Buck from the Toasters say to me, hey, man, I got these 4 bands, and they need a tour manager. Do you want to do it? And I was like, Yeah, of course.
Yep. There you go.
What do I do?
Yeah. You're like, oh.
And it was 4 years strong.
Oh, really?
Megan Dia, Mayday Parade, and I tour managed 4 artists. And I was like, so do I just like...
Was this a bus tour?
No, it was a van tour.
I was going to say, because like if you'd never heard of Shore Power or like Overdrives, you'd be like,
oh, yeah.
What is that?
No
what
idea.
What are those cool things?
And it was actually really kind of funny because the first day I show up and I'm like settling and shit. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well,
I'm
those
like,
numbers look right, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like,
hey, I got a whole pile of cash. You're out of here, fellas.
and I go to the promoter, right? The promoter rep for SJM. And I walk up to him and I'll never forget Andy Bernstein. Still a good friend of mine to this day, actually. And I was like, dude, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. They asked me to be a tour manager. I said yes.
Yep.
And now we're here.
I bet he respected you more for saying that to him than
Dude,
walking
he
up
taught
and
me
trying
the
to
ropes
just figure
to
it out.
everything.
I was going to say, I think most people that I know in that spot would have done the same thing and helped, and
Yeah.
going, let me show you. Because I, even when I was starting out, it was that kind of thing where someone would help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everybody these days, it's fake it till you make it, though.
Yes.
And if
It's
you ask for
it's
the
a
help,
type
it's
of
different,
faking
so.
it, though.
Yeah.
You're still kind of like, and I was sitting there driving around and being like,
Yep.
no idea fucking. And it was like selling a show. I was like, yo, Andy, please.
What do I do?
And at least you're working with a promoter that's doing like cross settlements. Shit
Right.
Like that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Well, I hope
Yeah.
you're right because
Yeah, but cross settlements. I mean, you're right.
they're not
That'd be tough
easy.
for the very first person. You'd be like, wait,
cross-settlements are
what?
not easy.
You're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And
But-
What do you mean you have 1/3 of a deposit in for this band? What does that mean?
But yeah, I think you were working for. At one point, didn't you do stuff with Goldfinger too?
I did Goldfinger for years.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had Darren on.
Yeah, because I think that was like probably when we actually like hung out more
Yeah.
or saw each other daily. You know what I mean? And then it was just kind of
Yeah.
you did the tour rental stuff with what was the company name?
Cobra.
Oh yeah, Cobra.
Is that the thing that Honors talked about? Where he's like, I thought you wanted to
No.
sell something to me?
No, totally different.
But it was just kind of different things throughout the year.
yeah.
But the thing that always screws me up about him is we always see him different places. So for the longest time, I didn't know where you actually lived, if it was in the U.S. or in the U.K.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Why is this guy fucking
Yeah,
here?
like I don't get. That was I
Yeah.
think the first time I saw you in the U.S., I was like, I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's why he holds 2 passports, so you never know where he
You
is.
never know.
Never know.
I know.
They come in handy.
It's
They do.
honestly, I'm jealous. I applied for mine 3 years ago, and I just stopped doing it. I was like, I can't wait that long.
I have health care for life for free.
There you go.
Can
I mean,
never,
yeah, can't complain about that. Right?
no.
Well, it's not free. You still got to pay taxes in the UK, but I get
I
it.
don't though, and that's the
Hey, we shouldn't
beautiful
talk about
part.
this, maybe.
No. This is
We can talk about it.
this is legal. Is that because I'm a subject of the Queen, I only have to pay income tax when I'm physically working in the UK. The US is the only country on the fucking planet that will tax you for foreign income.
Oh, God bless the USA.
So even though I don't have a permanent resident there or anything like that, I'm still guaranteed as a subject of the Queen for national health.
Do you think they're going to get rid of the monarchy when she dies?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah?
No, I don't think so. She's gonna go soon.
They said that like 50 years ago.
Dude, she's 94 or something.
I was gonna say
she's
up there, right?
Yeah, and her husband's got to be pushing 100 almost. Now I don't know. Like,
yeah,
it's like,
which is wild to think about.
yeah, but I mean, they don't have a lot of stress in their life. She drinks gin and tonic every day.
That's
Standard Brit.
That's
Yeah.
the secret, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite country in the world to tour in right now? Or ever?
Right.
Well, I mean,
Right now, right now.
Japan was always my favorite,
Yeah.
just because it's so different.
Mhm.
It's not like you can look at a sign and figure out kind of what it is. Nope.
Yeah.
Like, like nope.
Yeah.
But I just always love going there. I mean, there's spots in Europe too that I've always really liked, but my mom especially, she was like when I first started touring, she was so excited for me to go to Italy.
Oh.
Really?
You know, because she's Italian.
The
and
worst
her
place to
fa-
tour.
Why does everybody hate Italy so
'Cause
much?
it's
I
the
didn't hate
Italians.
it.
It's not.
Oh.
It's not. Yeah, it's not people wise. I like everybody that that has been involved with stuff are friendly or whatever, but it's just like the things that just don't work.
Yeah. It's the infrastructures at the venues, or the best part.
We'll just plug
You
these.
play a bunch
10
of boats in Italy. You go to Venice and you play
There
a
are
boat.
Well, see, you never go down to Venice. That's the problem.
there are venues in Italy which aren't grounded,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it's almost like
like
South
playing
America.
Russia.
why is
like,
that DI box getting plugged into that mic?
Yeah.
And they're like, zzz, zzz. Like, all right.
And it's always like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
You know.
No, we're good.
problem.
We're good.
And you're like, well, I kind of want the show to happen, so it is kind of a big deal.
There's this one place in Milan that's like an outdoor venue. You guys ever played there? The Magazzino, or
I don't
can't
know.
remember.
We've played some outdoor spots there, and there's been weird things here and there. It's always like I remember the one I remember. Do you ever play? I think it was Rock Planet. You ever play that one?
In Italy?
Yeah, but it was like in the, a
Is that
suburb of whatever big city it was.
yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but it was just out there, and there's nothing around there, and you just show up, and you're like, okay,
Who's gonna show up?
It's 1,000,000 degrees inside in the club with no one in there, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be one of those nights.
Yeah.
Is that in northern Italy?
Yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
It's maybe near Milan or something. I can't remember.
But there's always like, I remember Matt Hellfire. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
You know Matt?
Yeah.
Coolest guy in the world.
Yep.
He'd always be like, don't worry about it. You're
Well,
good.
and that's the
The
thing.
coolest
It's like
dude.
you put
I love him.
put up with some of the little things like during the day, but man, the kids and the people that come to the shows are just so passionate and are
Yeah.
so stoked. That part is awesome. I love that. It's just there's things where you're like, is this going to work?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's the same going to South America.
I was literally going to say, have you played Brazil where they just mob you, or
yeah,
Mexico City?
It's just
Well,
it's
you don't know if
crazy.
the venue's going to turn on either.
Well, that and the grounding thing is the
Yeah.
thing there too. It's like, man,
We
it's-
were in where were we? I went down there with another band. What the hell? We were in Chile. Man, that was a rough one. We showed up to the
Santiago?
event. Probably Santiago.
Probably, yeah.
But the thing was, it wasn't in Santiago. Like, you had to go up from Santiago up over the mountain, and then it was in this town next to the mountain, which was awesome because it was absolutely gorgeous when we went up on the roof of the venue. But in the venue, there was one can light, and then two tops, and then a monitor. And they're like, "Go!" I'm like, "How many tickets do you have sold?" Like 800. I go, "What?"
How is that gonna work?
800, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be a great show. All 800 people showed up, and it was a kick-ass show. But I mean, it was a hardcore punk show for a band that was definitely not a punk band. So, and I'm just like, this is interesting.
I used to love those, though. I used to
and
love
that's
the like.
there's
there's
an element
fuck
I
am I
love
doing
it.
here?
I totally love it because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But now, especially Chris and Raj, it's like when things are going crazy and there's not a barricade and those dudes are getting nailed in the mouth, in the teeth with microphones and stuff. That's what everything's like. Whoa. Just hold on. Because, I mean, we're all for everybody being up in our face, but as soon as the mics start going into the teeth, that's that's a bum out.
That's where you're like,
yeah. That's where I'm like, I'm glad I'm back here.
Speaking of mics in the teeth, we should probably wrap this up so we can go watch the NoFX live stream. So if it's going on, so
I hope it's working.
if that dates what we're doing right now, so
dun, dun, dun.
Well,
it's
thanks for
been
having me.
absolutely fantastic having you on. This is the coolest and craziest bus story ever.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So before we go, is there anything that you want to mention, say hi to, plug, whatever you want to do?
The studio, this amazing.
Oh yeah,
this amazing studio.
If you would like to talk to me, about recording here, it's drasticsounds.com, and you can email me at drasticsoundstn@gmail.com. New Lesson Jake record is going to be coming out December 11th. Normally we wouldn't even put a record out that late, but you know what? This year, screw it.
Christmas album.
Hey.
Yep, exactly. And we're gonna be launching the first single for that October 1st, and first video and everything. So it's called "Lie to Me," and the record's called "Silver Linings." And there you go.
Love it.
Thanks
It's been
for
a
having
pleasure,
me.
man. Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.
Thanks, everybody. See you guys
Later.